Hello. So today I wanted to discuss something that's been going on at Arsenal, and I wanted to pose a question as to why lessons haven't been learned regarding players' contracts. Now, as you may know, two midfielders in our club, Aaron Ramsey and Jack Wilshere's contracts are expiring. And to be more specific, Jack Wilshere's contract expires this summer, whereas Aaron Ramsey has a year left. But I'm sitting here wondering, why is this an issue yet again after the Alexis Sanchez and Ozil saga, which was eventually resolved? And the key word is eventually, because this went on from like the start of last season all the way through to January, where Alexis obviously was sold to Manchester United and Mesut Ozil signed his new 350k a week deal thereafter. So even though it was a great January when we got Mkhitaryan in exchange for the Alexis Sanchez deal, it was a saga that was very disruptive, and it created a lot of uncertainty amongst the fans and the club and the players, and obviously there was a lot of dressing division between Alexis and the teammates and stuff like that. And obviously there was and I'm sitting here wondering why this wasn't resolved sooner. Why didn't they just sell him to Manchester City in the summer or abroad or wherever, as opposed to keeping him and then letting him play in a club that he obviously didn't want to play. So it's like lessons haven't been learned. And in the case of Aaron Ramsey and Jack Wilshere, it's back to square one. Do you know what I mean? We're talking about the same thing. Why is this still not being resolved? Now, let me talk about Jack Wilshere's contract, because that seems to be the more pressing issue, because obviously his contract ends this summer. At the start of the season, he came back from unknown from Bournemouth, and it was all about getting him back to speed, getting him back to fitness, and eventually he started to play more and more games, and now he's embedded in the first team. Now he's a regular starter, so he's proved his fitness this season. And now because of that, because of his injury record, the club have offered a deal of lowered wages so he's gone from 120k I think to 90k. With incentive bonuses or something like that. And to me, my opinion of that is that it's a little bit insulting, because you're lowering the guy's wages, a talent like Jack Wilshere, to 90k a week in this day and age, in this market, for that talent, for incentive and plus incentive bonuses. For me, that's just not right. If you're gonna do that, I get why they're doing it because of his injury record, but it's like you're telling him to take a pay cut. I'm sorry, any player will be like, no, I'm not taking a pay cut. Do you know what I mean? What they should do at least is let him stay on the same wages he is on now. And if they still want to keep the nature of the incentive bonuses in the deal, then let them do that. But just at least keep the wages the same. Do you know what I mean? Instead of lowering his wage, just let him stay on the same wages and then put in something that that applies bonuses per appearance. Do you know what I mean? That would be a lot more of an attractive option, but obviously nothing has been said for weeks now. People have been talking about Jack Wilshere, and he's been saying nothing. We're not close to any deal. You know what I mean? We're no closer, and we're now in March, and we've got April and May, and then it's the World Cup, and then he can talk to whoever he wants. He could end up at Liverpool. He could end up at Manchester City. I'm sure they wouldn't mind having him. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, we're back to square one again. Why are we still not learning lessons? Why have we let this? It's like there's this mentality at Arsenal that they let things run on until the player's got a year left, and then they negotiate. But you're playing a dangerous game by doing that, because what you're doing is at that point you're weakening your bargaining power. Because then if they decide not to sign the contract, you can't sell them for a bigger profit. So it's bad business, really, when you look at it on a business term. And then I remember, Manchester City signed Kevin De Bruyne to a new deal. I think he had 2 or 3 years left on his deal, but because of the way he's playing and how he's a valued member of the squad, they said, no, we're going to tie him down now to improve terms. So even if he does want to leave next summer, we've got the bargaining power. We've got all the bargaining power, and they can sell him for whatever price they want. And a player like Kevin De Bruyne will be worth at least 80 million in this market. So they've got the power in that deal, and they've done it early. They've behaved like a big club, and they've tied them down to a new deal nice and early. Whereas Arsenal, they let it rumble on, and then they just let it. They procrastinate on these deals. Do you know what I mean? They just let it like go on until it's like not revising for an exam until the night before. You know what I mean? It's basically like that, and it's like why? Then which brings me to Aaron Ramsey, which is a bit more of a complicated issue because. Obviously, you'd known of like after the Manchester City result at the Emirates after we lost 3-0. There was obviously rumours that the players had like or before that they had like a big meeting, and then but after that match, obviously Wenger didn't turn up for his post game interview quite late because there was something going on in the dressing room. I think apparently Ramsey's been leaking information to the press. Even Mustafi came out and said the tactics and the training and stuff like that, you know, we're not happy basically. Cristiano was apparently crying. There was just chaos, and apparently because Ramsey apparently is the mole at the club, this obviously would anger. Well, it would anger any club, wouldn't it? So then after that, at the Brighton game, I was there thinking if he's not in the squad, let alone the first team starting lineup, then there's obviously something going on there. But Wenger's excuse was that he was resting for the Europa League. Against AC Milan at the San Siro. But I don't buy that because if you're resting a player like Aaron Ramsey and you're starting a player like Mesut Ozil, who's arguably a much better player, then that's not really an excuse you can give because by that logic you would have rested Mesut Ozil as well. But he started him. So I'm thinking at that point, no, Ramsey is obviously the mole and he was punished for his actions. So and then there was like murmurs about, oh, he might be sold because of it. So maybe he's not going to be offered a new contract. And maybe he's offering to someone. I don't know. But if they plan to keep him, then they should have got him down to a new contract like a year ago. Do you know what I mean? Not even in January. This should have been sorted out time ago. This is the thing with Arsenal. They're offering Mohamed Elneny a new contract, which I think he deserves. But it's like, why are people like Aaron Ramsey and Jack Wilshere not being offered deals beforehand? What is the problem? Why do we keep doing this? It's really annoying. And lessons haven't been learned. You know, it's the same thing over and over again. Despite the great transfer window we had, we're still back to square one. And we need to address this sooner. Like, we need to address this now. Like, something needs to change at the club. Aaron Ramsey and Jack Wilshere's contracts, their futures need to be resolved. As well as the managers. We still don't know what's going to happen. Do you know what I mean? Just one thing, we never get to know anything until the very last minute at Arsenal, as Arsenal fans, and it's just the most annoying thing, and it just needs to stop. So Arsenal, get those deals done immediately.